Hey, and we are live with episode 200. Think about that. 200 weeks in a row of hot jobs. And it's me, Mike Quinn, and the most awesome Philadelphia Eagles fan out there, Tara Soprano, in the
Wow.
house.
Wow. Hey, everyone.
You get to see two Eagles fans every week for the near future talking about the Super Bowl champions. But in all funniness, if you're joining us today, please drop tell us where you're joining us from in the comments. And you can also, if you have a question at any time, if you have a question about the transition, about jobs, about internships, about networking, about LinkedIn, whatever, drop it in the comments. We'll make sure to drop to bring it up if it's appropriate. So, Tara, thanks. I think today we wanted to start off by thanking our partners at Veteran Service Brands. You may have seen my post about it earlier this week, but I've spent about a week the last 2 years with the Veteran Service Brands team down in Tampa at their annual event. And that's about a week of talking to over 100 business owners. And I'll tell you, they have blown me away. I've seen people almost in tears with how it's changed their lives. So the thing about Veteran Service Brands is they are a franchise owned by veterans. So everybody that runs a franchise has to be a veteran. And they have 4 different main lines. They've got G-Force parking lot striping, which for me, I was like, parking lot striping? But it has to be redone every 3 to 4 years. So you have continual business. So you've got your G-Force parking lot striping. You've got field ops, which is athletic marking. Same thing. You're marking all the fields and inside gyms and pickleball courts and all that other stuff. You've got paint core, which is commercial and residential painting, always in need. And then you've got Mach 1 epoxy floors with a lifetime guarantee. And so they have franchises all over the country. I think they're right around 100 right now. And they will take you as a SkillBridge intern to get some experience and decide whether you want to run a franchise, or they'll take you right in for a franchise. And like I said, I wouldn't say this lightly. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to everyone from their CEO, Jack Child, to Jay Sperry, Marine recruiter that went over and became the COO, and all the way down through all the business owners. So if you're interested, you can check us out on hiremilitary.us. You can check out the Veteran Service Brands opportunities. You can always reach out to Tara and I with questions as well. So with that, Tara, I think we had thoughts about people applying for jobs that they're not qualified on paper for. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So we were talking right before the show. Oh, thank you, Bob. Yeah. Fly Eagles fly. Absolutely. That, you really need to tailor your resume for each job that you are applying for. And we hear this all the time, that it's really time intensive and tedious, and we understand that. However, you need to position yourself best among a sea of other applicants. And, Mike and I were discussing, if the job description says, hey, you need data analytics experience, and nowhere on your resume does it say that you've handled any data or have any analytic skills or where you've used this in previous employment, they have no idea that you're capable of those skills. So one of the things we were talking about, Mike, is having a professional summary at the top of your resume. What do you think about that?
I mean, I love it if it's tied to the job description. So when I think about a standard transitioning military veteran resume, I'm thinking about a professional summary, like 4 lines at the top, maybe a few keywords, and then the experience section starting on the first page. I don't like, it's a hybrid. I don't like the functional resume format people use. And so I like the reverse chronological or hybrid, but I really think it's just matching things up. Like, your professional summary should say that you have the exact same qualifications required in the job, or whatever you have. Like if it's a project management job that requires 8 to 10 years of project management experience, you could say like PMI certified project manager with 8 years experience managing projects up to this scope, this many people, this locations, and then whatever ones. Is it scheduling? Is it budget? Is it business development? Whatever else. Having that paragraph speak exactly to that job And then the keywords should all be the keywords and the must-haves on that job. And then we don't want any like gratuitous keywords. If you're going to put a keyword in there, there has to be examples in the experience section where you've done that. Otherwise, it's a wasted, like, that's the first thing I do. I look at a keyword, I look for it in the resume. It's not there, you didn't do it. And so I think for me, if you're going to apply to the job and the recruiter has to hunt for or to translate in order to find that experience, you pretty much have already lost. And I'll just add out one other thing, Tara. 6% of the population has ever served. So 94% of the population has zero idea what a first sergeant is.
Yes.
Or an ensign. Or, I mean, shoot, most of the Army doesn't know what an ensign is. And so, you know, when you think about that, or a master gunnery sergeant or whatever. And so you can't rely on someone seeing that you held a certain rank or a title in the military and being able to translate it to their head to say that they've done this. It's got to be, you got to make it clear and easy for people to understand that you have the exact experience for the role.
I like what you said about making sure that the keywords line up with the bullet point of experience. Because if you think about your resume like a story, that intro paragraph is introducing yourself, and then you want to back up what you've said in your introduction in the experience. So I think that's really important. And I agree, if a recruiter has to hunt through your resume for those key words or key requirements, then you have not made it clear that you are the best candidate for this job.
Perfect. And remember that we don't, in the military, we hire based, or we promote based on potential, right? So you can get promoted into a role for which you have zero experience based on your ability to learn, your potential to learn. In the private sector, we hire based on your ability to do this job. Very rarely, unless you have a personal relationship, is someone going to hire you and say it's going to take them 6 months, 8 months, 10 months to learn how to do their job, when there's another candidate that can come in and do it right now. Like you got to take the one that can do the job. And so for everyone out there, just remember, you shouldn't just have one resume. I'm going to say that again. You should not just have a resume. You need to have a resume for every job you apply. But if you take the time to focus on one vertical, HR, operations, logistics, whatever it is, project management with an industry. If you take the time to focus on one vertical, tailoring is not as hard because they're all kind of aligned and you're just tweaking things here and there. And I think it takes maybe 15, 20 minutes to do it that way. So it's Chris Hawk says it all the time. It's not ready, fire, aim. It's ready, aim, fire. You'll hit more targets that way. So, all right. So speaking of verticals and jobs, I think you've got a few to share there, don't you, Tara?
I do, and I'm going to be talking about skill bridge opportunities today. So last week, I talked about some of our full-time opportunities, and today I'm going to talk about some of our skill bridge opportunities. But remember, for any position that you're looking for, you can visit our website, and they're all listed there. And we are just highlighting a couple today. And remember, you can get all of our jobs and skill bridge opportunities through our pool. So the jobs pool or the skill bridge pool. So the two skill bridge positions I'm highlighting today, well, the first one is with American Microgrid Solutions. This is for a project analyst. They are looking for someone who is skill bridge eligible this summer, so June or July. And these people are awesome, working with renewable energy. So they would love if you have a passion for renewable energy, some type of academic background. So it could be an undergraduate degree, but doesn't have to be. If you have some nuclear or flight experience or any type of technical background is what they're looking for. Bonus points if it's in engineering or power electronics. They're looking for someone who wants to learn, take initiatives, is a great communicator, is a good partner, good team player. If you have capabilities in Microsoft Suite like Excel and PowerPoint, someone who has the ability to learn on-the-job skills, especially economical analyses. So really fun group, really great people to work with, and they are looking for a SkillBridge intern who can start this summer. And if you feel like this could be for you, this is also a remote opportunity. Forgot to tell you that. It's a remote opportunity. So this really opens the doors for a lot of folks. And if you're interested, I want you to apply directly on our website. That's the best way for us to get in touch and see if you're really a great fit for this opportunity.
I love it. I love it. And we have a question from Lenora here. Is this for veterans only? So no, we work with service members, veterans, and military spouses. But if you hire them and you are happy to jump on and engage with people, we love having our supporters here as well, Lenora. And thank you for giving back to our community. All right, so that's American Microgrid. What's next?
Next is going to be our partners at Datadog. So again, just a group that we love to work with who are so passionate about their SkillBridge interns and this program. They have their first intern starting shortly, and the whole team is really excited to get this off the ground. And so this position for SkillBridge is called a technical support engineer. So you are client facing. One of the things I love about Datadog is how invested they are in their SkillBridge interns. They get to fly to headquarters and do this really well thought out internship for 12 weeks and is really in depth. They, again, are so excited to have this off the ground. The qualifications for this position would be that you are able to write and debug lines of code, that you have some foundation in a scripting language. So it could be Python, it could be Bash, Shell. Those are the preferred languages, as well as a foundation in Linux operating systems is their preference. This is also a remote opportunity, but please know that upon completion, and if you are hired at the end, you will have to do a few days a week out of one of their main offices, which is Denver, San Francisco, New York City, and Boston. So all really cool areas to live, but the internship itself is remote.
And what I love about this is Datadog's such an amazing company. People that are in might not have ever heard of them.
Right.
But they did almost 2.7 billion in revenue last year. So it's not like a little tiny company. This is a very well-known brand name company, multi-billion-dollar company that's putting aside opportunities for transitioning military to do SkillBridge with them. So definitely keep that in mind. Speaking of, we've got Oman saying, do we have any plans for Africans? Unfortunately, I do not believe that we are planning on expanding to support African military in the future, but one of our partners, Acuity International, actually hires transitioning U.S. military for roles around the world. They've got some senior guard positions in Somalia, but they've also got roles in Iraq, and they've got a whole bunch of medical roles in Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. Ooh. And I'll tell you, I did an interview with Lynn Cheek, who is a operating room nurse there. This week, I did a Zoom interview with her, and it blew me away. First of all, I found out she's a retired sergeant major, which was so cool. I'm like, you're a sergeant major, I'm a sergeant. She was class 53, I was class 63. Somehow she still looked younger than me. I don't know how that worked. But I must be all that good island living. But she was really some time talking about going to Kwajalein Atoll and how it's resort living, food and board provided if you're single, for everything, tax free if you're there if you stay out of the United States for 330 days out of the year. They've got scuba diving, snorkeling, surfing. You can go to the other islands, Wi-Fi, Amazon Air, $12 flights to Hawaii. I mean, like, if I wouldn't have had to wear sunblock caked on my head and hats and everything else 24/7, and if I had any medical ability whatsoever, I'd consider it myself. I mean, it really sounded amazing. If you have questions, you can always check us out at hiremilitary.us. There's a whole bunch of different roles in the Marshall Islands, but also if you go to the Hire Military YouTube channel, Hire Military Facebook or Instagram, or if you go to the Hire Military LinkedIn platform and look at our past posts, I've got the whole 12-minute interview up there, and you could spend a little bit of time learning about Kwajalein Atoll. It sounds amazing, and they have K through 12 schooling there as well. So if you go with your family, it'll be a small school, but They have everything available right there. So I would tell everybody to check it out. Check it out. Do you have any other roles that you were going to share?
Just those two for today.
All right. Well, I've got a couple then too. The
All
first
right.
one is one of my oldies but goodies. We are always looking for DLA Finance, Defense Logistics Agency Finance. DLA Finance is a Department of Defense organization. They call them fourth estate organizations, but their finance section is incredible. And they're just such great leaders over there. Miss Goodyear, Mr. Lennon, Stephanie Wright, everyone else. I mean, they've just been so amazing to work with. And they've got 5 different types of positions. They've got accountant systems. They've got financial liaison, financial analyst, and business analyst positions. And they've got them in, let me see if I get this, Battle Creek, Michigan, New Cumberland, PA, Philadelphia, PA, home of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Got them in Richmond, Virginia, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, DC area, and then Columbus, Ohio,
Yeah, Columbus.
and if only if you have accounts receivable experience, they've got positions in San Antonio, Texas. I know everybody loves San Antonio. It's a really small footprint. You've got to have accounts receivable experience. But if you are interested in a SkillBridge internship where if the hiring authorities exist, they have full intent to hire. I know there's a freeze going on right now, but you've got 3-4 months if you started today to get through your internship. They use rapid hire, direct hire authorities to bring you on if they have the ability to do so. So if you're interested in that SkillBridge internship, getting DLA on your resume, having a great idea to kind of branch into the financial management industry, check out hiremilitary.us. You can search your DLA SkillBridge opportunities. Tailor your resume. You're going to want to focus on any of your time around money, budget, contracts, POM, logistics. Focus as much on that financial management piece, and it's all described on the jobs. And go ahead and apply online. And then the last one, I've saved the best for last, is our friends at CNC Boiler. So CNC Boiler, they're training industrial boiler techs, so service technicians, which, is a huge job out here. And they have them in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. They are a family-owned business that's been around for decades. And these are incredible roles. So they're going to take you, if you have any hands-on experience, and you could do a SkillBridge internship in those areas, they're going to take you and train you to be a service technician for these industrial boilers. And I posted a picture from the Hire Military Facebook and Instagram page last week of them, so you can go check it out. They were transporting a mobile industrial boiler. They're huge, but you're going to learn how to service these boilers so the companies can keep running. And there's a guaranteed job if you complete the training on the back end. Starts at about mid-60s, 65 or so to start, with a pathway really quick up into 6 figures if you work hard and you're willing to put in just a little bit of overtime here and there. I mean, it is an amazing, again, that team has been fantastic. And where else are you going to get it where you can go through SkillBridge, get training, and have a job offer on the back end? So if you're interested, check it out, hiremilitary.us. All right, let's see if we got any other ones. Look at that. We've got Cody Armstrong, looking at laying us out, hiremilitary.us. That's where you can go for any of that. So, and I do have, there is somebody in the feed talking about something that's very political in nature. And so I haven't pulled those comments up, because my advice to anyone on social media is do not touch any topic that divides the country in half, right? Have those conversations with your friends, family, trusted colleagues. We don't need to bring any of that onto social media because it's so polarizing. And so as I talk to anyone else out there, especially those in our community, what I would encourage you to consider is, if it is a topic that divides the country in half, politics, religion, scantily clad, Israel, Palestine, education, vaccinations, Supreme Court, whatever, any topic that gets people polarized against each other, don't touch it on social media. You could be knocking yourself out of half the jobs or half the sales. You could be pissing people off. You hit the wrong one and you get the other side comes after you. It is best to focus when it comes to social media, especially LinkedIn, and sharing the positive, the successes, the things you love, the things that you're passionate about, and building relationships based on that connective tissue. Like the Philadelphia Eagles. I post about it all the time. It's something I love, right? Tara just turns out to be an Eagles fan as well.
Right.
We're forever bonded by that. I talked to Stephanie Turo, commander out at Navy Recruiting Command. She showed me pictures of her husband and their child in Eagles gear. They're Eagles fans as well. You know, I talked to a whole bunch of people who turn out to be Eagles fans. And every once in a while, Tara and I, you know, just kind of harass our CEO, Nick Gismondi, because he's a Steelers fan. And we say, well, you know,
not as good.
Close. You're in the winning state, but probably not going to be the winning for a long time. So just, you know, keep that, you know, in mind. And I've got, you know, Michael, yes, being passionate about people works.
Awesome.
Share times you are passionate about people. Share topics you are passionate about supporting. Share things you do for your community. Share lessons you've learned. Those types of things are how we start to build relationships. All right, Tara, it is spring break week here.
Wow.
Yep. In our area, I am about to get a young man out for a walk after this class to get him moving. Any last things you'd like to share?
Just remember to visit our website and apply for any of those positions, whether they're SkillBridge or full-time opportunities that align with your career goals. Don't forget to tailor your resume to those job keywords. That's how we're gonna find you best. And remember, you can also sign up for our jobs pool or our SkillBridge pool to have more frequent communications about those opportunities. And I think that's it for today for number 200.
Awesome. So we go out with number 200 with a bang. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you later in this week for office hours. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye now.